The rumblings of rebellion. It began as whispers within the ranks, soldiers tired of endless orders, broken promises, and impossible missions. Across the front lines, tension was brewing like a storm ready to break. Soldiers on the edge. Months of chaos had stripped them of purpose. Many soldiers hadn't seen their families in years. Morale collapsed. What began as fear turned into anger. The catalyst. In one night of confusion near Avdiivka, an entire battalion refused to follow orders. It was the spark Moscow feared most, open defiance from within. Command breakdown. Russian commanders tried to cover it up. They blamed communication errors, poor weather, anything but mutiny. But the truth spread faster than they could silence it. The punishments begin. Officers began rounding up the dissenters. Fear became the new weapon, but it was too late to control the fire. Cracks in the Kremlin's image. State media stayed silent, but families began posting desperate messages online, demanding answers. The illusion of control was crumbling. The front line erupts. Near Kupiansk, soldiers fired warning shots at their own commander. It wasn't rebellion anymore, it was survival. The intelligence leak. Ukrainian drones recorded radio chatter, proof of disobedience. Western analysts confirmed what Moscow denied. The Russian army was eating itself from within. The Kremlin's response. Putin's circle ordered secret purges. Dozens of field commanders vanished overnight. Yet for everyone silenced, another broke ranks. The psychological collapse. Videos emerged of soldiers screaming, refusing to return to battle. Psychologists called it collective trauma. The army was fracturing, mentally and morally. The lost battalions. Entire battalions vanished from contact. Some retreated into forests, others defected. Moscow called them ghost units. The lies on TV. While the front collapsed, Russian TV showed parades and medals. The gap between propaganda and reality had never been wider. Ukraine's silent observation. Kiev watched closely. They didn't rush to attack. They let the chaos spread, knowing time was on their side. Families in despair. Back home, mothers of soldiers flooded telegram channels. Their voices were trembling, demanding answers no one would give. The silent generals. Top generals refused to appear in public. Rumors spread that some were under house arrest, others fleeing abroad. The mercenary dilemma. Without regular troops' loyalty, Moscow turned to private mercenaries. But they too demanded pay and revenge. The chain reaction. Mutiny spread beyond Ukraine. Reports emerged from Siberian bases, soldiers refusing to deploy. The infection had reached home soil. Moscow's night of fear. In the capital, armored vehicles appeared quietly at midnight. The city was silent, but everyone knew something was breaking. The defectors speak. Videos of defectors leaked online, voices trembling, describing chaos, starvation, betrayal. Their words confirmed what the Kremlin hid. The turning point. By now, the Russian army was fighting two wars, one against Ukraine, and one against itself. The second war was the deadlier one. Shadows of treason. Kremlin security began hunting officers suspected of treason. Some were executed in secret. Fear ruled the barracks. Collapse of communication. Entire communication networks failed. Units stopped receiving orders. Chaos became the new chain of command. The economic strain. Sanctions choked supply lines. Soldiers lacked food, fuel, and faith. The empire was starving, from within. Western observers react. Western intelligence agencies called it a slow implosion. No bombs needed. The Kremlin was collapsing from the inside. The psychological war. Russian soldiers now feared each other more than the enemy. Trust was gone. Every man stood alone. Ukraine's final advance. As Russia turned inward, Ukraine moved. Precision strikes cut off retreat routes. The mutiny sealed Moscow's defeat. The fall of command. On a cold morning, the last functioning Russian command post near Donetsk went silent. No one was left to give orders. The soldiers who stayed behind. Those who remained weren't fighting anymore. They sat in silence, waiting for an end, unsure which side they were even on. The world watches. From Washington to Warsaw, the world held its breath. The Russian army, once feared, had imploded before the world's eyes. The breaking point. History will remember this not as a battle lost, but as a system that devoured itself. The Russian army broke, not by force, but by truth.